and closed Dust 2, 16-14. And quite honestly, Menace put a couple different players in a couple different positions. Very small minor adjustments. I just threw both of those words together. Sminer.
That's a good alias.
I like it. I like it. I know, right? If I didn't have one already, I'd take it. But some small changes, and we could have honestly seen a different map. So this will be an interesting one. Already starting off in an interesting wave. He's going to be smoking out in a way that usually would mean a mid to B. And you can see the CT's rotating off, but this is most definitely an A take. When they catch a CT off guard, it's already worked as planned.
Yeah, and Menace here, the way that worked out, they flinched from that mid smokes, and then after that, two of their players stuck at Catwalk. Unleashed already overwhelming the A bomb site. Really tough to kind of adjust to that. So advantage Unleashed here, and the end round situation. Both Menace players coming from the CT spawn. Unleashed have a crossfire set up there. They have HMP at middle with the Tech 9. First step for Menace is making it past that, and they can't do that. HMP comes around and finishes the round off. For Unleashed, Menace there, they tried to react accordingly to what Unleashed did at the start of the round, but it was a nice fake sold by Unleashed. And the force buy coming up from Menace. In recent times, we've seen the force buy work less on the CT side, but of course, I probably just delivered the old caster curse. But we'll see. Unleashed here. Couple SMGs. Tech 9 still on HMP, of course, saving for his beloved AWP. And Darty going with the AK. Menace only having one player at middle. I don't like the default setup on this force buy. They are holding on to A, but only temporarily. As Darty starts coming out, and he goes down to Juhop. So 3-on-3, Unleashed rotating back everybody to this A-bomb site. But so is Menace, with the exception of one player. Oh no, they're rotating back off. And just when Unleashed takes into the site, that's when Menace starts to think it's going back to B. And now they're positioning. It looked good for a second, but now it looks really bad.
Yeah, they're smoked off and everything, and looked all right when Unleashed was pushing more or less one by one there. And that's when Reflex was able to get a single frag, as well as Juhab playing the squeaky door was able to take one down. But now, once they group up and take the bomb site together, leaves this awkward situation, and they're actually trying to go for the retake right now. To be honest with you, I would have maybe liked to see them save, although they just had armor and pistols. The issue is that they would have been, basically this round, they now get default pistols, unless they want to spend a little bit, but anything at this point, you buy a P250, it is going to affect you in a way that you might not have a flash or something like that coming into that rifle round. So.
After the force especially. And I would have preferred them to save as well, because what did Unleashed have? They only had one AK, so they were fighting to take away SMGs, potentially giving away more money. So, yeah, I would have liked to save.
Definitely would have made sense to me, but Unleashed going to boost up in mid. Unfortunately for them, though, they're going to lose a player as he gets a single frag.
Very fast flank.
Yeah, look at this flank coming in. Yeah, they're coming in from A main from behind right now, and unfortunately, though, they actually stop in a way that there's a smoke down, so they're not able to get there in good time, and now it's a good post-plant setup for the T's.
Yeah, that smoke from Unleashed really saved them there. If that wasn't up, that would have been 3 CTs quickly flanking. They do get one early, so trades, though. And it's trying desperately to get up this A main, but T's is going to hang on to it, as well as his AK. Nicely done by Unleashed there. Again, Menace had a good read on the flank, but halted by that smoke, and that was the round there. Covering their tracks nicely, Unleashed, but now let's see the setup. HMP does have HMP AWP, man. that MP messing with me. But what I was trying to say before fumbling all over myself is Menace does not have an AWP thanks to their by second round. So HMP with easier odds here, not going against any op, but not like he was struggling last map to take out the Opera of Menace. He won, I'd say, 75% of the duels against Aslak, the Opera of Menace thus far. Let's see if he can continue that into this map. This is Unleashed choice. If you're joining us recently, Menace lost their choice on Dust 2, but it was a very close one. But here, aggression early from Reflex. He can only get the one. He wanted more. Oh, follow-up aggression from Juhab, but now Unleashed wasn't blind at all, and they had both of their crosshairs firmly on that position. I don't like the re-aggression at all. Now they leave Azlak all alone in the site, but he does have assistance from his teammates, so Menace rotating very quickly. It's a 3-on-3 in the A site. Unleashed might want to think about falling back. Oh, of course not. They're just going to force their way in. 2 frags for 1, but Azlak 1-on-3. No, Darty saves the day for Unleashed, continuing to put that egg of a score onto the Menace side. And that was a close one. Menace really would have loved that round. But now Unleashed going to go up 5-0 unless Menace can do a crazy eco here. Man, they're spending a lot of money. But they are going to be able to full buy, even though Reflex did go with pistol armor. Still going to be at the 5,000 mark next round. So giving themselves a little chance, but not force buying entirely. So good economic play here from Menace.
And we'll see if they work in some aggression or how the play goes, as usually with these pistols, you want to come up with some sort of shenanigans. We can see that he's actually set up for this right now. Darty in a nice spot to stop this squeaky aggression if they move up any further. And has like a mid on white box. He's trying to get in a duel right now with Landit. I'm going to go with that pronunciation. It's probably bad, but I'm going to go with it. And he actually is taken down to 37 HP getting in that duel. So we'll not be on the better end of it. Luckily he survives though. And oh, actually great posted up spot here. Reflex. Darty was in a posted up spot waiting for some aggression and decided to move on forward and found Reflex. But Reflex with a CZ75 close range works out pretty well for him, and now he's got an AK in his hand. So things looking good thus far. They've got a lit player and a man advantage on that T side. So where they're going to take it to? It's going to be a B side execute. We'll see if Sunny can hold and rest the CTs.
He gets one, not bad, but his teammate doesn't have a weapon. All he has is his USP. And he's playing the headshot angle. Ooh, gets one. So that's job well done by him. Unlikely that he was going to get any there. An HMP. Dropping his oh, there it is again. Dropping the AWP. But goes down. Only one up here. Uzu left in the site. 2 members of Menace approaching. And there's Juhad. Takes him out. Uzu can't get the clutch. And Menace. That's what you want, especially on an eco round. If you win an eco round like that, kickstarts your economy a bit. They bring in 2 guns that they didn't have to pay a dime for into the next round. And taking a look at their economy, yeah. So 2 of their players aren't going to have to buy, and they're sitting at 6,000 already. And for Menace, they're going to fight for the momentum. They still have an op on HMP, but problem being now, it's a swing round for them. If they want to continue this large score disparity, they're going to have to take this one. And if Menace wants to have a good half, this is the round. This is the round that decides others. Now we have double ops from Menace again here. They have 1 at middle and 1 picking aggressively towards B. Having the single op at B allows you to only play a single player there and have ample time for the rotate to come in. And also having the op at mid for Menace allows him to play single there, and he'll get the call op if his opper at B is in danger. But all the focus from the T side is going towards the A-bomb site. But for Menace, the double op setup over at mid and B allows him to play 3 people here. So Unleashed fighting against the odds at the A-bomb site. And now down odds from the player count. Well, 3 up for Unleashed. Still got that op in HMP's hand, but he does miss his shot at middle. That gives Menace intel where that op is currently at for the T side. Menace here. You're going to have to worry about their mid to B. They still have 2 players at A. This should mean one of their players is going to go back to middle or B. But Unleashed doesn't look like they want to give up on this A-bomb site just yet.
Yeah, not done there. Unfinished business as Menace made it work by having a teammate flash 2 of them into A main. And they were able to take down a single player, and Unleashed actually tried to salvage it by having a player come out of Squeaky, and that's why Sunny went down, but they were able to trade that kill, and now the situation that we find ourselves in. And this highway aggression's probably going to work out well for them, but oh, Juhab, he's going to be wise to it, and he's actually one of the lowest players on the map right now with 16 HP, so it could take him down, obviously, with only a few bullets, but unfortunately for the T's, as they were taking it today there, they were looking the wrong way. So actually just going to save weapons here. Luckily for them, no one out hunting, as they didn't have the best hiding spots, but wouldn't necessarily win in maybe a long game of hide and go seek, but in the split seconds there, they will be able to survive. And again, they do bring those weapons into this round. And you can see they did not have much of an economy coming into this round. So now they actually have a little bit to work with.
Yeah, and tech nining and deagling behind this isn't a bad idea because they still know Menace's economical situation isn't the best, although they had 4 survive. They still know they're potentially in save or force buy territory, so Unleashed doesn't want to let off the gas just yet. Don't want to be the first team to, or the first terrorist side to save. Menace now, they're going with a little switch up. Instead of playing a 1-1-3, they got 2 players at middle early, and then they make a mid-round adjustment. So once their smokes start dissipating middle, I really like this from Menace. They're giving so many different looks at different parts of the round for Unleashed. So now Unleashed is worried about the mid because the mid was smoked up, but now Menace has opened back up into a default-esque setup where they have only 1 middle, 2 at A and 2 at B. Unleashed starting to prod into this A bomb site just a little bit. They have 2 at the door. There's the op of HMP through the wall.
No way.
Oh my, HMP, behave yourself. This op is just ludicrous. And now that gives them a little opening under the site. Menace doesn't believe it's at the A just yet, so they still have players at A or at B rotating. Well, everybody at A goes down for Menace, and now, considering this retake, oh, they're gonna go for it, and this is dangerous. They don't have the best economical situation here. They could force up next round if they want, but as that op goes down, somebody needs to get out of here. But no, HMP, that AWP. I'd love to see his statistics, like his miss rate with this gun. He's got to be batting about 50%. I mean, through the wall. That's not even fair.
That I've heard of people hitting that shot, and I believe I've been in situations where people have hit it. I've just missed it, but that one I clearly saw, and oh my god, to take down an op through a wall like that with that headshot, that's just gotta. It's going to be super frustrating for Menace, to say the very least. You're just now put down one of the most critical players on that site, being that Opera at quad box, and of course they pounce on the opportunity, don't give any time for a rotate to come in. So huge way to open up a bomb site. And yeah, HMP, we asked the question last map, can he continue that kind of AWP success on the map coming up, which is cash? And clearly the answer is yes. So he's definitely one of their opening or entry frag players, although he's opping most of the time. So good work by him, but Team Menace, they need to put up another wall here, as they were able to get 2 rounds in a row, but now in a scenario where they've now let 1 slide back to Unleashed. And they could put Unleashed in a pretty bad economic situation if they can stop this round. But you see is the T's are taking out mid, and T's actually opens up with the first blood, takes down Reflex. We still have 1 player on the CT side at Sandbags, but smoked off currently, and honestly not very effective there. And as I say that, it's actually T's dropping into Checkered, and they're going to take it to the same bomb site. Sunny's still alive and well, hiding in the corner, but he's going to have to get so many frags to make this worth it.
Yeah, Uzu looked like he shot through his teammate there, but didn't do any damage. And as Menace should save here, get out of there. You don't have the money. So they are going to go ahead and double save in the CT spawn. But you're talking about HMP and the effect he's having with his op. He's entry fragging, like you were saying, and that's something they nerfed. That's the main thing they nerfed about the op. It's more difficult to entry frag because you can't slide peek as well. You put yourself in more vulnerable positions. HMP's making it seem like they didn't nerf that gun at all. I just love seeing an opera that can still use that gun like it used to be used, despite it being nerfed some more. And it's not even like the op was out of control. I'm not going to go off on too big of a tangent about it, but there's a reason you didn't see a bunch of teams have numerous ops on all these maps. It was, a couple players here and there that really knew how to use the gun that made it seem, somewhat overpowered, but that was not the case at all. I mean, most of the time you see 4 rifles, maybe 1 op. You see a lot of teams don't even go with an op before the nerf, and now you're going to be seeing those teams never use an op. But Unleashed here, up 6-2, and Menace bringing 2 guns into this round. They're not going to force up behind it, so let's see where they're playing these 2 weapons. 1 at mid and 1 at the A-bomb site, but middle. Taken by Unleashed very early. And on these rounds, I've only seen Menace go for the middle aggression 1 time, where they dedicate a bunch of players there, or more than 1 player. And on these rounds where they have a disadvantage, I'd like to see that from them. Stack 3 mid early, play a couple players, or play 1 player passive at each bomb site. As Darty ends the round under Juhab. Only 1 kill for Menace there, despite having 2 guns. But yeah, for Menace on their save rounds like that, Unleashed is continuously putting one guy middle just to press in for just some intel, see if it's a stack, see if he can get a pick. But for Menace, it's not like Unleashed is coming all the way out onto mid. They're not coming out mid from the main entrance. They're boosting one player up, and Menace could easily take that player down if they just dedicate a couple players at mid early on.
Yeah, let's see how this plays out. Reflex pushes up aggressively, but it's actually Sunny that will go down, and they're able to trade him off, but inevitably the trade works out a little bit better for the T side. As now it's 3-2, and you can see that mid-aggression for the CT side. They tried to hold, but actually I'm trying to figure out where the rest of those frags actually took place. There's one right outside of vents, but nonetheless, they're going to take it to the B bomb site.
One tried to push close.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Joel's 4 HP. Not exactly the HP mark that you'd like to be at retaking his bomb site, and he will have
Here comes the nade.
And rip in pepperonis. Joel's, we'll see in the next round, and his teammate, he'll be in safe territory. So once again, Unleashed coming up with another round, and this is not what the T side of Cash is supposed to look like. It should be more of a CT run show where the T's are battling for control of different real estate so they can attempt to get into these sites and such. But Unleashed has had, with HMP wreaking havoc like he is, kind of strikes fear in the eyes of Menace in a way that even when they're taking mid like that, it's always Unleashed just getting the better end of the trade some way or another, even if HMP isn't involved. And usually he is, though. He can usually get out of there with a frag, and you'll take a little bit of damage, but he at least provides a really nice situation for the rest of his team to basically head into. And now, once again, we see Menace, graded pistols, and T's opening things up once again in mid.
Yeah, Azlak there went for some solo mid aggression, ate a flashbang, fully blind. Everybody from Menace faltering one by one. And these upgraded pistols only doing a bit of damage thus far to Unleashed. And when they aggress just one guy mid like that on these eco rounds, he's gonna get 1 kill maximum. But if you put 3, maybe even 4 players there, because they're not holding the bomb sites on these force pistols. So I want to see Menace try something different. But yeah, Unleashed on the T side. Wow. And I was talking about this yesterday. We're seeing more and more T side Cash, like these score lines. I don't know. Is this becoming more T-sided? I've always called it a 9-6 CT side, but recently a lot of these teams seem to have their T side figured out. Swedes here especially. Now on to another gun round. Menace. Gonna have to put some on the board quickly because Unleashed is going up to almost unredeemable point for Menace. Hopper misses a shot early at the A-bomb site, but Juhab does come in and assist him. Eats a lot of damage to the wall from the spam point, but Unleashed haven't been down a player in a little bit here. Just continuously trying to make their way into this A-bomb site. Bomb down at middle and T-side mid. And very spread out is Unleashed here. And got Uzu at the B side entrance, as well as their teammate HMP over here at A. Now falling off, it is going to be a B take eventually. Uzu needs to wait for his teammates or have his teammate bust out vents, and then right away, once the CTs are worried about that location, that's when we're going to be seeing the rest of Unleashed come out the main entrance. Darty at mid, trying to come out. He's got to create a vents distraction, but they're not waiting for the Checkers player to come out. All Joel has to do is worry about the main entrance, and he gets all 3. And Darty, left alone, coming out of the Checkers, does get 1. I don't think he has any idea Sunny's in the bomb site. Nope, there it is. Sunny takes him out, and now Unleashed lose their first round in quite some time. 5 rounds to be exact.
Yeah, and this is good news for them. The best they can do in this half is going to be a 9-6. Which, like we're saying, usually is to the favor of the CT side, not to the T side. So Unleashed already had a fantastic score line. Even moving out of the half, they'd be all right with this. But Menace, they are still in worrisome territory. And it'd be a different story if they were up a map as well. But this is their chance in the upper bracket. If they want to continue in this upper bracket, they will need to take this map and bring us to overpass, but it's actually going to be a nice frag to start things off. Reflex finding an AWP frag. That's going to be from the quad box in the A bomb site, and actually Tease follows suits and gets dropped as well, so... Oh, but quickly in the other direction, Darty and HMP, they're going to be opening things up, and now the A bomb site is going to be contested. They take down another one in sight. Sunny, though, is alive and well here, and in mid, Joel's trying to help out, stop the flank play from coming in, but he's taken down himself, and now Sunny in a 1v2 where he's got Tease in multiple positions, and quite honestly, he needs to pick a fight here. He needs to try and find a 1v1 situation and not let them seclude him to this one bomb site area, and he's actually sneaking out a way that HMP gonna land a shot. He's not missing that one. HMP is on point.
Yeah, and he had the jump, or Sonny had the jump on HMP as well, but took too long to line up his shot, didn't hit the initial one, and HMP, like you said, ain't missing. So another round that was looking good for Menace, but Unleashed take it. And Menace here gonna have to force out the rest of the half. You got to make it 5-10. I mean, coming in with 3 rounds into the T side, yeah, don't fancy chances at all. And Unleashed rushing 3 into A main early. Juhab does put a smoke up. Oh, it gets Darty. They're trying to rush through. Landy there with the retribution frag. And where is the final terrorist? Is that HMP? No, Tease doesn't want to push out. Lets all of his teammates die, but he doesn't want to give the bomb to Menace, so I don't blame him for that. That either dedicate everybody or now they're down a single player. HMP falls with his AWP, so only teased up after abandoning his teammates, trying to head over to the B site, but Menace has remember pushed up 1D side of the dome. That's going to be an ugly funeral. 4-10 for Unleashed.
I think that was the second eco round that the CTs were able to grab there. So 2 eco round victories, and I feel like that's more because they're throwing in these kind of different looks on their eco rounds, which is what you should be doing, but clearly those rounds where they're mixing in that aggression, they might have a little bit more success on the CT side if they do the same thing maybe on the rifle rounds as they do as the ecos, as again they've been able to kind of force the issue and force some engagements, and they were favorable there. We'll see though, as they are playing just back standard, passive on the sites. Juhab is thinking about getting aggressive at a squeaky, but it's actually Sunny that gets dropped first and foremost on that B bomb site, so it's not the start Menace was looking for. Certainly they would love a 10-5 half at this point, but HMP find another frag, and T's opening up even further that B bomb site. Things looking bleak here in the final round of the first half for the CT side. Juhab and Reflex left in a retake scenario, and they are going to land one shot, and that's Reflex, but he's now in a position where they know his location, and things are not looking good for him. Being fired at on all angles. It'll be Lande to end the round. 11 rounds on the T side. I'd like to say that that Menace could have a comeback here, and they certainly, in theory, they could. But Unleashed on their map choice, they're running the show right now, and they look very much in the driver's seat. And as much as the T side on any other map, I would say that the T side, not necessarily perfectly representative of how they're going to play on the CT side, but the T side of Cash is actually one that you need to be fairly knowledgeable of. You can't just run in and, for example, like we watched Overpass last night, and it was a situation where teams didn't do anything too fancy. It was more or less T side. You clump up, you stay as a unit, you get refrags and such. On Cash, you need to kind of have some set strategies and know how the map works and have some good defaults in terms of where you're watching for CT aggression. If you don't, the CTs just run you over. It's not a fun time. So now Unleashed, I think that they're going to have a couple tricks up their sleeve in terms of CT side aggression.
Yeah, I agree entirely. You have to have set setups and takes. If you don't, you can't fake it all. And just kind of poking into sites with guns isn't an optimal fake here. All the angles are going to favor the CTs, especially with AWPs. But once again, this match brought to you by Zowie. All your gaming peripheral needs. If you haven't tried their products, I highly recommend checking them out. But Menace here on T-side pistol. Desperately need this round. Off to a bad start. Darty for Unleashed. Oh, that's 2 from Darty. Playing the headshot angle. Now his teammate HMP wants some of that finish blood himself. But Juhab, now 1-on-3. Oh, simple B take from Menace. But the opening frags, that's what you need to do on CT side pistol. Once that XDQ comes in, a lot of the round boils down to if the T's can encroach upon your locations close enough to make those Glocks effective, that's when the round's decided. But Unleashed didn't allow them to get close, got the opening headshots, and that's that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a big difference if the CTs missed that initial player, but you saw the way that Darty was hitting those headshots. As soon as they were peeking, they were going down, and the next terrorist behind the first one just couldn't get there in good enough time that they could make that work out. It was it just fell apart too quickly. So good CT pistol, and well on their way now to closing out the map. The T's jumping through his smoke here on A main, and you have a little bit of a death sentence for him as he's not going to survive out of that one. It's going to be Reflex and Sunny left alive, and one of them trapped behind. Oh, that was beautiful. Landed just like, he's like, oh, I'm going to deal with Sunny first, closes his squeaky door on Reflex, and then decides to reopen it once they're done with that player inside of sight. So good work on that anti-eco, and now we do see there is going to be a force buy here from Menace, as they don't want to wait until 14 rounds to force up, only one round to play with. They're going to force up here. And I like it just because if they do win the round, they've got a little bit more rounds and cushions to play with. But, yeah, it's going to have a nice strategy behind it here.
Yep. They need to win now. Can't allow any more rounds for Unleashed because you have to assume Unleashed is going to get a few. So you have to give yourself a little cushion on the T side. As much as I'm a fan of saving all the way up for a gun round in which you have everything, this is a correct decision by Menace here. They gotta put one on the board now. They can't let Unleashed economy get up there onto the gun round. So they're trying to do it here with Galil's and AKs. Late round mid boost, no op for HMP yet, but it's gonna be Darty with the perfect timing on that Molotov, stopping the boost. This is gonna alter Menace's plans, or at least delay them for the time being. They might even boost up more players. So finally the boost comes in. Is Darty still waiting for it? Yes, he's kind of spotting it. And now he's going to realize what's happening. Menace has given away the plan by flashing over. We do have a member boosted up. He's got to get this kill. Tease over at the A side does take out one. And Menace trying to do this A take, but Tease another one from the catwalk. Now Menace already down two players. They need to take into this bomb site now. He's on the way with the rotate. P90 coming around the corner of land. Only gets one with the shotgun of Ozu. He's going duck hunting. Only gets one of them. But Unleashed get a lot of money and the round. And Menace is going to have to force up here. Everything is looking grim for Menace here. Finish side on their way out. And see who the winner of this faces. So Unleashed, assuming they win the next two, is going to be facing the winner of Lions or Kick.
Should be a nice opponent waiting for them, as that should prove to be a good match. But we've got Menace trying to fight off this 15th round, and doing so with not the best equipment. We've got three Tech 9s on the field, one CZ75, and a Galil. And looks like they're approaching towards B. Got three in the hallways, and they've got Reflex heading out mid right now with Sunny. So split and checkered, and they will be coming in through the main entrance, but Unleashed a little bit wise. They're going to push their two players up in a way that, as they cross into checkered here, they should be able to get it, but I think the barrel of his gun's peeking out. Apparently not, as they actually just jump right into his fire, and my goodness, Jules is going to be able to get two. Those are both those players. Make it a third. Makes things interesting, but yeah, interesting setup from the CT side. They pretty much shut that down.
Yeah, having both players close up to the main entrance. Interesting. But Jules isn't done yet. Oh, man. Dinks Landy, 3 HP, or 9 HP, separated him from death, and that was on the brink of a 1 versus 5. Jules didn't want to give that up, but Unleashed take the round, albeit an expensive one. Now they have the op of HMP, and if Menace can't beat Unleashed before HMP gets that AWP out, I don't fancy their chances anymore here. Last chance for Menace. They got to take 11 in a row. That is a lot of work to do. They're boosting up mid, sending the rest of their players into A main. Here comes the pop flash from Unleashed. HMP misses the shot. He's got to get out of there. Looking for assistance from his teammates. He's going to get it. Big nade comes in. HMP goes down, though. No, he doesn't. He takes out 2, but 3 frags are there. Menace taken into the site. They do take out the last guy in sight as well. Only Uzu up now for Unleashed. So with this Tech 9 train, it seems Menace, they can only win rounds when they don't have a full buy. If they have some Tech 9s and stuff, they got a much better chance. I don't know how that works out. How many rounds of the Menace side came from force buys in ecos? I'm saying 3 of them at minimum. So I don't know how
I think
Menace
it was
is
2 on
playing
CT
it.
and now 1 there. So yeah, I think 3, maybe 4, but I think 3. I think you're correct on that. I guess different playstyle. You just play a little bit more careless, and I guess.
Yeah, you could chalk it up to randomness, but the consistency of how many rounds they've won versus how many rounds they've lost on gun rounds versus force buys and ecos, yeah, I'm thinking it's playstyle on these eco rounds.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe they go back to the drawing board after this match, but not necessarily completely out of it, but upgraded pistols on the CT side. They're going to find the first frag as they're just going to push into this A site and land it. It's going to find a second as, oh my god, he's going nuts from Squeaky here, and eventually they drop him, but at the same time...
And they lose the real buy round.
Is that hilarious as, yeah, the round where they have incredible equipment advantage, they're not able to get it done. So, guys, that is going to be it. 2-0 victory for Unleashed. We do have another European match coming up, but we've got a little bit of time separating the 2 matches. I do believe we've got an hour and a half until that one goes live. So, yeah. I am correct about that. Correct, yeah. So an hour and a half in that until that goes live. It'll be Team Acer versus Tricked Esports. So that is on Lounge right now. So make sure you guys, if you're interested, get your bets in on that. But again, we're going to take a very short break. Well, short break is in an hour and a half. So we'll be back in a little bit here, guys. Again, it will be Team Acer versus Tricked Esports for our next best of 3. And then actually tonight, we've also got Lunatic versus Noble Esports for our North American stuff. So still 2 best of 3s coming at you today. Hope you guys enjoyed that first one. But do want to let you guys know we've got our Op Asimov giveaway going on at 5,000 followers on our Zubu channel. So the current moment, we're at about 1,100. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So if you guys want to jump on over to our channel, azubu.tv/GoRGNTV. Drop us a follow. That would be much appreciated, and it would push us towards that goal of 5,000 followers. So do appreciate the support. And once again, hour and a half, we'll have another best of 3. So we'll see you guys again in a little bit.